Okay, so I mean, with this device, what you're supposed to do is have it that way up, and you put an object in the middle, and that object appears up here. This is it's a really cheap and nasty version of it. I've seen much better ones. I'll try and find a better one, but I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up. But the blue tack appears up here, and it's actually down there. So what I propose is in an upside down version of this, whereby if we think this way up, and this represents the Earth, and this is, everything is contained inside here. This is the firmament for the top, and this is whatever we want to call it. This is the base. Now this is a theory I've had for a few days now, so forgive me on the details. This hole represents the North Pole. Now for me, for the demonstration, the hole is too big and the mirror is too small. I would really like to find a bigger version of this. It's going to make it a bit clumsy, but my idea is that there's a hole in the North Pole. This ring here represents the South Pole. Whether or not this surface is flat or slightly concave, I don't know, but I think overall the shape represents a lens. And this reflective surface here is generated by the oceans. Now when it's enclosed, as we are, it produces a parabolic mirror inside. Now when the trick is working, the image appears up here, and the object is actually down there. So for me, if we swap the two over and put the object here, the image should appear on the surface there. So if we think of the stars as being underneath us, so let's put some stars there underneath us, and then this lens Earth thing is above the stars, and this explains why this is my way of explaining why we don't see any stars in the sky above a certain altitude. The sun and the moon are in here with us. The sun and the moon are up here somewhere with us. The planets, I don't know. Possibly some of the planets are inside and some of the planets are outside. I don't know. But the rest of the stars, all the star field, are underneath us, in the waters beneath. And what we are seeing is an optical illusion of the underside of the firmament is reflecting the star field underneath. And when you get to a certain height, you won't be able to see the star field anymore because the angles just aren't right. So here we have an itty bitty camera. It's very small, but it's still not quite small enough for this experiment. This is why I need to find a bigger one of these, but it's going to take some time. So I'm going to put this inside here and see what it sees from the underside of the firmament. Okay, the camera's on and it's placed inside there. Starfield is on, and set that turning. And so the starfield is underneath, turning clockwise. There's a hole at the North Pole where the image of the starfield is projected through. Now let's close the dome firmament over the top. So what we have here is there's a hole underneath, and the light is projected through from underneath, through the hole, into the lens of the firmament of the Earth, and we see the image of the stars in the firmament above, but the stars are actually below us. And I think the sun and the moon are inside the dome, inside the lens with us.
Right, okay, with the camera facing south. And rotating clockwise. And then turning the camera over so it's facing north. Turn it clockwise again.
So while this is a clumsy experiment, I've quickly put this stuff together, but what this has demonstrated is that the principle can be reversed quite easily and produce an image inside this lens from outside. So my proposition is that we are inside a lens type device, and the stars that we see above us is actually a reflection, and it's an optical illusion from the stars below. And this demonstrates that that is possible, and it also possibly demonstrates that depending on your point of view, the stars will appear to circulate either clockwise or anti-clockwise.
This is like some kind of piece of machinery, the Earth. So whether the stars and the waters above and below are external to creation, and creation is basically what is contained inside this lens for some purpose of processing information or data. Who knows? So light goes into the lens through the North Pole, through the aurora borealis, and we see an image of what is happening down here as well. It's all happening below us, not above us. Above us, well, the sun and the moon are inside with us. The firmament is clear, so when the sun's not lighting, or when it's not lit, it turns into a black mirror. And beyond the firmament, I don't know, I don't think there's anything up there apart from the throne of God. And who knows, maybe there are luminaries up there, maybe that's what the planets are, maybe the planets are down here, maybe some of the planets are in there with us, who knows.